see all of you. We are going to hear from the wonderful Bonnie McAlvin again this evening. I feel like every time that Bonnie plays, we are going to hear from the wonderful Bonnie McAlvin. Ooh. And we're also going to hear from the wonderful cantor Emily many times and in different kinds of ways. Is that sort of an example of multiphonics, Bonnie? So I'm feeling like we should give you like different little tidbits of information about Bonnie each time. This time, we are mentioning that she plays principal flute with the Uruk Symphony at Merkin and Carnegie Halls and won the National Flute Association Convention Performer Competition in 2011. And her music was included in the probably not so recently released album Ultraviolet, produced by the four-time Grammy-winning Andreas Meyer. Although that's probably pretty recent, right?
November.
Take it away, Bonnie.
Oh, so today I'm playing some pieces about bugs, and birds, and flowers by Benjamin Bloom. And I'll put the titles of it into the chat box.
Who's the composer, Bonnie?
Benjamin Bloom.
Oh. Thank you, Bonnie. That was so beautiful and playful. And it's really nice to come into Shabbat playful. I think that's an awesome way to go. How good it is for all of us to be here together. Hine ma tovu manayim Shabbat achim gam yachad. Hine ma tovu manayim Shabbat achim gam yachad. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד.
Shabbat Shalom. It is good to be together as our community, joining each other. This week, I think we're starting to peak for hope, see possibilities that might be down the road. And the one thing that's changed is I'm making plans. I didn't make plans for like a year. And now it's like, well, maybe we'll meet up at a restaurant outdoors. That's something that's new and different. The possibility, the hope of something that's familiar and wonderful, of being around people in person, which Zoom is a great substitute, but it's not a filling meal. We look forward to finding ways for all of us to come back together in person and celebrate each other as individuals. This Shabbat, we have a special opportunity to celebrate as we celebrate with Sammy Kleinberg and her family as she becomes bat mitzvah. And so we invite Sammy along with her family, Ross and Stephanie and Sophie, to lead us in our candle lighting and our Kiddush this evening.
As the Shabbat candles give light to all who behold them, so may we, by our lives, give light to all who behold us, as their brightness reminds us of the generations of Israel who have kindled light. So may we in our own day be among those who kindle light. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu mitzvotav v'tzivanu halikner shel Shabbat.
Amen.
Amen.
Now Sammy is going to lead us in the Kiddush.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu v'shabbat kodsho be'achava uvratzon hinhilanu zikaron l'maaseh v'reishit ki hu yom tehillah l'migra'e kodesh zecher litziyah mitzrayim kivanu v'acharta ve'otanu kidashta mikol ha'amim ve'shabbat kodecha be'achava uvratzon hinhaltanu Baruch atah Adonai Mekadesh HaShabbat.
Amen. Mazel tov to Sammy and her family. Sam will be back in a little bit to help lead us in more parts of our service.
L'chaim. So the next song is from the Song of Songs, and it's actually traditional to sing something from the Song of Songs on Shabbat. A lot of times we sing Dodi Li, and this is taken from another part of Song of Songs, and it's called Yonati B'chagvei Hasela, O my dove, in the crevice of the rock. It's a really beautiful melody written by an Israeli cantorial student, Shani Ben Or, and Boaz Dorot, who is music director at Kol HaNeshama in Jerusalem. Yonati bechagvei hasela beseiter hamadrega harili et maraich hashmili et kolech ki kolech arev umarich navi hashmini et kolech ki kolech arev umarich navi Yonati bechagvei hasela beseiter hamadrega harili et maraich hashmini et kolech ki kolech arev umarich navi.
As we find opportunities to check in with each other now, we think ahead to when we're in the sanctuary, when we do these same check-ins, but you get to pick who you get to walk over to and talk to, unless they come over and talk to you. But we can't quite do that on Zoom. So we're going to continue to put you in a room full of random people and have an opportunity to say hello to old friends and connect with some new ones. So we're going to turn now to some breakout rooms. That was nice, Leah. That went like super quick. Normally it takes a whole like minute.
I have finally figured it out. I'm hired. I'll do it again. I did three minutes. Is that what you want?
Yeah, that's probably too long.
Okay, I can shut it off after 2.
Yeah, after 2, and then it takes 15 seconds and
Great.
okay.
Perfect.
Yeah.
I'm going to give them 10 more seconds.
Oh, you made bigger rooms this time.
Did I? 6 to 7. I did 6 to 7.
Yeah, normally we do like 5.
Oh, sorry.
You're still hired.
Hi, Rabbi.
Hi, Jody. Good to see you.
I've never heard
Yeah.
from Alvin tonight. He called me.
Yeah, Jody, you're talking to everybody right now, so maybe
I'm
don't
sorry
have
about that.
private conversations. Hi, Karen, how are you?
Hi. Now I'm talking to everybody.
You're talking to everybody, but that's okay. It's our tradition that you talk to everybody after breakout rooms. We check in with
Great.
you.
Oh, thank you.
It's good to hear your voice.
It's good to hear you too, Rabbi.
Hi, Karen.
And you, Jody. Hi.
All right, so we're going to go back to muting everybody. And now we turn to another kind of welcome, Lecha Dodi, welcoming our community and the Sabbath bride.
Lecha dodi likrat kala pnei Shabbat nikabela Lecha dodi likrat kala pnei Shabbat nikabela שמור וזכור בדיבור אחד, השמיענו אל המיוחד. אדוני אחד ושמו אחד, לשמו תפארת ולתהילה. Lecha dodi likrat kala pnei Shabbat nikabela Lecha dodi likrat kala pnei Shabbat nikabela לקראת שבת לכו ולילכה כי מקור הברכה מראש מקדם נסוכה סוף מעשה במחשבה תחילה Lecha dodi likrat kala pnei Shabbat nikabela Lecha dodi likrat kala pnei Shabbat nikabela בואי ושלום, עטרת בעלה, גם בשמחה ובשולה. תוך אמוני עם סגולה, בואי חלה, בואי חלה. Lecha dodi likrat kala pnei Shabbat nikabela Lecha dodi likrat kala pnei Shabbat nikabela
As we turn to the Baruch Hu, we invite you to rise in either body or spirit.
Baruch hu et Adonai hamivorach. Baruch Adonai hamivorach leolam vaed. Baruch Adonai hamivorach leolam vaed.
Adonai, your majesty is proclaimed by the marvels of earth and sky. Sun, moon, and stars testify to your power and wisdom. Day follows day in endless succession, and the years vanish, but your sovereignty endures. Though all things pass, let not your glory depart from us. Help us to become co-workers with you and endow our fleeting days with abiding worth. Baruch atah Adonai Hamariv Aravim.
Umavir yom, umevi laila, umavdil ben yom uben laila, Adonai tzivot shemo, El chai v'kayam, tamid yimnoch aleinu leolam va'ed, Baruch atah Adonai, Hamariv Aravim. Avat olam beit Yisrael amcha avta, Torah u'mitzvot chukim u'mishpatim otanu limadta. Al ken Adonai Eloheinu b'shachveinu v'kumeinu nasiach b'chukecha v'nismach b'divrei Toratecha u'v'mitzvotecha li'olam va'ed. Ki hem chayinu ve'orech yameinu ve'orech yameinu uvahem negei yomam v'layla yomam v'layla ve'ahavatcha al tasir mimenu le'olamim. Baruch atah Adonai, ohev amo Yisrael. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod Machuto Leolam Vaed.
Please be seated. We invite our bat mitzvah, Sammy, to lead us in the V'ahavta.
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אלוהים מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך ודיברתם בם בשיטתך בביתך ולכתך בדרך ושופך וקומך, ובשרתם לאות על ידיך והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכסבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובין שעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתיהם מארץ מצרים, להיות להם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם.
Adonai Elohechem Emet. Thank you, Sammy. We're going to read responsively. You're going to be reading from your own homes, the indented parts, as I read the flush paragraphs. In a world torn by violence and pain, a world far from wholeness and peace, give us the courage to say to Adonai, there is one God in heaven and earth. The high heavens declare your glory. May earth reveal your justice and your love. From bondage in Egypt, we were delivered. At Sinai, we bound ourselves to your way. Inspired by prophets and instructed by sages, time and again we overcame oppressive forces. Though our failings are many and our faults are great, It has been our glory to bear witness to our God, keeping alive in dark ages your vision of a world redeemed. Let us continue to work for the day when the nations will be one and at peace. Then shall we rejoice as Israel did, singing on the shores of the sea.
Yabba bye 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 yabba bye bye bye. Yabba bye 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 yabba bye bye bye. Yabba bye 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 yabba bye bye bye. Yabba bye bye yabba bye bye bye. Mi chamocha bailim Adonai, mi kamocha nedar bakodesh, norat hilot, o sefele, o sefele. מלכותך רעוב על נכה, פוקי הים לפני משה. מלכותך רעוב על נכה, פוקי הים לפני משה. זה לי, ענו ואמרו, אדוני ימלוך לעולם לעולם ועד. Yabba bye 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 yabba bye 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 yabba bye 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 yabba bye 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 yabba bye 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 yabba bye 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 yabba bye bye yabba bye bye bye. כי פדה אדוני יעקב, וגלו מיד חזק ממנו. ברוך אתה אדוני, גאל ישראל.
A song for Shabbat.
ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ביני ובין בני ישראל אותי לעולם, אותי לעולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. כי 6 ימים עשה אדוני, עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. וביום השביעי שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם.
We continue with the Tefillah, a chance to offer up prayers of hope and possibility for all of us. We invite you to please rise or rise in your spirit.
Adonai sefatai tiftachu fi yagi tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu, Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, V'Konei Hakol, וזוכר חסדי אבות ואימהות, ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם, למען שמו באהבה, מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן, ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם ועזרת שרה. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, בחיי הכל אתה רב להושיע, מוריד הטל, מחכל חיים בחסד, בחיי הכל ברחמים רבים, סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר, מי כמוך בעל גבורות ומיתו מלך, מלך ממית ומחיה ומצמיח ישועה, ונאמן אתה להחיות הכל, ברוך אתה אדוני מחיי הכל. אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש, וקדושים בכל יום יהללוך סלע, ברוך אתה אדוני האל הקדוש.
You are holy, your name is holy, and those who are holy praise you every day. Blessed are you, Adonai, the holy God. Baruch atah Adonai, ha'el hakadosh. Please be seated. May these hours of rest and renewal open our hearts to joy and our minds to truth. May all who struggle find rest on this day. May all who suffer find solace. May all who hurt find healing on this day. May all who despair find purpose. May all who hunger find fulfillment on this day. And may this day fulfill its promise. Baruch atah Adonai, Mekadesh HaShabbat.
Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam, ki ata hu melech adon lechol hashalom, ki ata hu melech adon lechol hashalom, v'tov b'einecha levarech et amcha Yisrael b'chol leit uv'chol shah b'shlomecha. Baruch atah Adonai, hamvarech et amo Yisrael b'shalom.
We continue with our own private prayers.
You l'ratzon imrefi. These beautiful words saying, may the words of my mouth and the meditations of my heart be acceptable to you. We'll hear that beautiful melody played on the flute by Bonnie McAlvin.
We turn towards healing, the healing power of music, the healing power of our hearts, the power of our hands, of our love, of our world. As we think of people who need our strength and healing here in our families, in our community, and across this planet and this planet itself, we invite you to put names into the chat of people you're thinking of for blessing and healing as we share these names of our temple members: Elaine Wall, Helen Schloss, Rochelle Weinberg, Ronnie Heller, Jamie Stern, Leah Stern, Joan Lipton, Arlene Green, Sadie Rosenkrantz, Elise Leibowitz, Roberta Traeger, Jody Ann Herman. El Na Rafan Allah, oh God, please heal her, please heal them.
El narifan Allah, El narifan Allah, El narifan Allah, El narifan Allah. And Moses cried, heal Miriam, heal Miriam, this I pray. And Moses cried, heal Miriam, heal Miriam, this I pray. El narefan Allah, El narefan Allah, El narefan Allah, El narefan Allah.
Tonight, I will be speaking about the issue of sexual harassment and abuse. No explicit examples will be cited, but I wanted you to know the subject in advance. An email a few days ago from the Union for Reform Judaism began this way. In recent weeks, there have been several public reports of leaders in our Reform Jewish movement who have engaged in abuse, misconduct, and sexual assault. The pain endured by the victims is heartbreaking. We hope the reports of these brave victims will empower others who have suffered in silence to come forward so that there can be both accountability and healing. Clergy abusing their position to engage in sexual, physical, and emotional inappropriate relationships is not a new story. However, in recent weeks, credible allegations have been shared from incidents decades ago about several reform movement leaders. You may have seen a recent article in the foreword or received emails such as the one from the URJ. You may just be hearing about it now. The men named in the assertions were my professors at HUC. One of them was the rabbi who ordained me and whose name is at the top of my smicha, my ordination certificate. It is with great pain I talk with you tonight. Pain primarily for the survivors who have had teachers, rabbis, and leaders in their lives take advantage of them and cause them lifelong distress. Pain for the damage that has been done to my holy profession and to our wonderful movement. Pain for so many who looked up to these rabbis and now have them revealed as abusers of others. Pain for these rabbis' families, whom I know personally and well. There is enough pain for everyone to feel its sting. As happens, the courage of the victims sharing their stories has led to other revelations about these same men and about the actions of other rabbis, teachers, and leaders. That is not new. What is different is how the reform movement has responded. We recognize that people are complicated. No one is all good or all bad. One of the strengths of the Torah is that the characters in it are complex. No one would wish upon another how Hagar is treated, yet Abraham and Sarah remain celebrated as the first Jews. The good people do still has meaning and importance. We struggle in all areas of life to deal with allegations about our leaders, heroes, and role models. Yet we stand firm that the positives they have done do not allow them a pass on the negatives they brought into people's lives. And time is not an excuse either. Most of these reports happened several decades ago. For the victims, there was no mechanism to be heard back then, let alone believed. The administration of our rabbinical school and synagogues protected themselves at the expense of anyone else. This week, I heard stories from some of my rabbinic and cantorial classmates, each a strong, influential Jewish leader in their own right. They shared brutal situations in their careers where they had no effective recourse to report the behavior of their senior rabbi or temple president or HUC professor. Trauma doesn't disappear so easily. Anyone who has had a wound of immense proportions in their lives knows the pain may change color and volume, but until it is allowed to come out into the light and begin to heal, it continues to cause internal harm. Even these decades later, sharing the truth allows each person a chance to find recovery and wholeness. The response from the reform movement has been strong and unparalleled. Central Synagogue sent a very detailed email to its members. Their email began, "We are writing to you today as your senior rabbi, executive director, and congregational president from a place of communal sadness, anger, shame, and teshuvah." Central Synagogue's email described the credible claims against their former senior rabbi, the action the synagogues has taken, and their plans for continued healing. The three leading organizations of the reform movement, the Union for Reform Judaism, the URJ, the Hebrew Union College, HUC, and the Central Conference of American Rabbis, the CCAR, each shared a similar response. Unlike in decades past, they didn't ignore or try to hide the situation away. Now they stated a focus on believing, greater transparency, and on the healing of the survivors. All of the organizations have hired outside law firms to do total reviews of their past and their present. All of them provided a methodology for people to share any claims in confidence. If you have had such a trauma in your life, let me express how sorry I am that someone did not treat you b'tselem Elohim, in the image of God. Cantor Pincus and I are both available to listen and be present to anyone who has a story they want to share or to reflect on your pain. We can help look for avenues of healing. Mostly, we are here to listen. I've seen firsthand the damage that a leader can cause from my time on the CCAR Ethics Committee. There, we heard cases that had been brought against rabbis for inappropriate actions. Each story was full of sorrow. The CCAR is committed to improving the ethics process. It is a flawed system, but it remains a way to enable anyone to find protection and a path to truth. As a rabbi, I am so angry that I am sharing these words tonight. These rabbis, my teachers, violated the sanctity of their rabbinate and of people's humanity. They preyed on the trust of their own students and congregants. They severely damaged the faith and connection of the community they were tasked with upholding. And I am also so sad that our Jewish community has the same flaws and predators that other communities have. One wishes that allegations of the past weeks would have not continued in our own contemporary leaders. I am not that naive. What has changed is that the leadership of Reform Judaism is not focused on protecting the abuser, but on healing the injured. In any of our communities, our goal must be to help those in pain find healing. We must further get these transgressors to stop their abuse and find accountability. We work to try to have them create teshuvah for those they wronged, and we need to seek to repair the damage caused to the whole community. Rabbi Rick Jacobs, president of the URJ, wrote this week, "Our Jewish tradition is unyielding in holding all of us responsible to create safe environments in which a culture of justice and safety prevails. The prophet Isaiah reminds us of what it will take to heal our community. Zion will be redeemed through justice. In this time of moral reckoning, our community can be redeemed only by the unflinching pursuit of justice. When sacred trust has been violated, it will take an entire community to restore it. For too long, our community has been unwilling to face the hardest truths, but we will turn away no more." Shabbat Shalom.
Emet ve'emunah. Emet is the Hebrew word for truth, and emunah is the Hebrew word for faith. We have faith in the truth. Emet ve'emunah. Emet ve'emunah. Emet ve'emunah. Emet ve'emunah. Ve'emunah.
There is pain in our lives. We've known that all our lives, but there is joy too. And we must turn to the joy to give us strength for each other and turn to the light. So we invite you now, if there's something good happening in your life, in your family's life, in your world, we want to know about it and find our strength and joy from you. So please put into the chat what's going on in your life, the simchas in your world, that we can know more about them. We wish our mazel tov to Sammy and her family on her bat mitzvah tomorrow, which she has been very much excited about for a long time. So we're glad this day is here. We have family opportunities, kids making honor roll and achieving in school and getting into colleges, seeing family in person, vaccinations all across the world, celebrating birthdays, and getting ready for Mother's Day, which many of us will get to see family for the first time in person, thanks to our vaccines. New homes and opportunities to go back to doing activities we love and miss so much. It's wonderful. There are good things. We want to bring more good things. One person can bring evil into the world, but as a community, we can fight back with our good and our connections. We move towards the concluding blessings of our service, beginning with the Aleinu, and we invite you to rise in either body or spirit.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו אחד.
Think now of people that we miss so very much. You can be seated while we share Kaddish names. We want to recognize all those who are deep in our hearts and strong in our souls. As we share a list of yard sites this week at Temple and of recent passings, we invite you to put into the chat the names of those people you're thinking of, especially at this time. This week, we mark the yard sites of Sabine Amerikaner, Martin Ashkenazi, Linda Blumpkin, Bessie Brown, Zorach Burns, Sidney C. Davis, Julia Engel, Samuel Finkelhar, Aaron Foyer, Elizabeth Frankos, Lawrence Frankos, Greta Frankenberg, Gertrude Freiser, Joseph Gurman, Phyllis Goldberg, Edith Tilly Gross, Louis Hamburg, Sylvia Hendelman, Frank Hers, Rose Hirschleifer, Morton L. Hollander, Amalia Kahn, Emma Kempler, Jacob Krohn, Ernestine E. Kruger, Joseph Levitt, Sadie Levy, Mel Leffert, Sarah Levitt, Samuel Littman, Julius Midzwinski, Gertrude Pollack, Vadim Rogalski, Sally Rothgans, Fedor Sander, Sidney Schwartz, Saul Smith, Bertha Stern, Fred Stern, Edward Tannenbaum, Samuel Turitz, Abe Wolf, Max Zuckerman. We note in sadness the recent passings of Heriberto Lefty Yanis, uncle of Alvin Callow, Leona Ball, mother of Jerry Ball, Ronnie Rosen, friend of the Schwartz and Callow families, Craig Gordon, friend of the Schwartz and Callow families. Our hearts are heavy after the tragic loss of 45 souls as we begin to understand the terrible disaster that occurred during the Lag BaOmer celebrations on Mount Meron in northern Israel. Our deep condolences go out to all the families whose lives are torn apart now. This tragedy is such a heavy loss for all of the people of Israel, and we express our sorrow over this terrible and senseless loss of life. There are many questions that will have to be addressed around the circumstances of this tragedy. But on Shabbat, and as the victims are laid to rest, we bow our heads in pain and grief. As we share together the mourner's Kaddish, we invite you to unmute yourself and join us in reading the blessing together. And we invite everyone to please rise in body or in spirit. Yitgadal, Yitgadash, Rabba, Malik Malkute, Echon Yomachon, Yiko Beit Israel, Allah Uzman Kamru, Amen. Rabba Nevarach, Olam Amen, Yitadar, Yitalev, Yitalal, Ed Kedusha, Lam Minko, Birkata, Bashirata, Birkata, V'nechmata, Iram Be'alma, V'yamru, Amen. Maraba Min Shemaya, V'im Aleinu Ve'al Yisrael, V'yamru, Amen. Shalom, Aleinu Ve'al Kol Yisrael, V'yamru, Amen. May the source of peace send peace to all who mourn and comfort to every broken heart among us. And let us say, Amen.
Shalom Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'immeru. Amen.
Amen. Please be seated. Now with some announcements, we're delighted to invite up one of our vice presidents of our synagogue, Sue Eisman.
Hi, everybody. Shabbat Shalom. I'm happy to have the opportunity to share some announcements with you tonight. First, want to thank Rabbi and Cantor for a beautiful service. I thank Bonnie for some lovely music to bring us in to Shabbat, and to thank the Zoom team that makes the electronic part of the service possible. What a wonderful service we had. We have a lot of great things coming up in May. Tomorrow night is game night, which is co-sponsored by the PA, Women's Connection, and Toffee. You have to pre-register for that, but this is a second game night because the first one was really successful. So please sign up and have a fun time with your temple friends. Some other things that are coming up, we have a comedy night coming up on May 22nd. We have our annual pet blessing coming up on June 4th. We have our 12th grade graduation coming up on May 21st, our confirmation on May 16th. Every week there's something exciting happening and you want to be here. All the details of where to sign in, where to log in, and to be here are in the email and on the temple website. We have, and very excited to have Sammy Kleinberg's bat mitzvah tomorrow. Mazel tov to Sammy and her family. That is at 10:30, and the congregation is invited to Zoom in and celebrate with Sammy and her family. Thank you for the opportunity to do announcements. I'm sorry that I don't have any baseball references to make because that's not my thing, but I can do a music reference, so I'm going to do that. One of my favorite bands of all time is an English band called James, and a few years ago they came out with a song that continues to resonate. It's a song called Nothing But Love, and the lyric is, nothing but love gives the world some meaning. Nothing but love is the drug of healing. And I think that that's something that we always can resonate with, but especially in this difficult year that we're having. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. Thank you, Sue. You know, there are many things I look forward to when we're in the sanctuary together. One of them, which may take a little longer, but is Oneg. I liked Oneg. I like the schmoozing with people at Oneg. I like the cookies at Oneg. I like the challah at Oneg. And I'm looking forward to us getting back to having that time to get back on those rainbow cookies and mini black and whites. So, but we can't do that quite yet. So we want to invite you, if you have a challah for your own home, we want to virtually share it with everybody. And so hold up the challah and we will share it with everyone for people to see. So just keep holding it up and I don't know if we'll get everybody, but we'll get as many people as we can. All right. Well, thanks to everybody who brought a challah tonight on our honors. And anybody who wants to can unmute themselves and we'll all join together in the motzi. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Baruch atah Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lechem min haaretz. B'te'avon, everyone. And as we turn to our closing song, we thank everyone for being here tonight and sharing with us, and we look forward to all the opportunities to keep sharing ahead.
They're singing Ki Eshmera Shabbat. It's a little bit down the page in the Hebrew there. Yes. Ki Eshmera Shabbat El Yishmereini. Ki Eshmera Shabbat El Yishmereini. Orti leol meyad Beino veini. Orti leol meyad Beino veini. Ki eshmera Shabbat El Yishmereini. Ki eshmera Shabbat El Yishmereini. Orti leol meyad Beino veini. Orti leol meyad Beino veini. Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
Shalom. Mazel tov.
Thank you.
Shabbat shalom, everybody.
Happy birthday.
Thank you. Shabbat shalom, everybody.
Shabbat shalom.
Hi, Jody. Shabbat shalom.
Hi, Jody.
Hey, Suzanne.
Good night, Jody.
Hi, guys. How are you?
Hi, Suzanne.
Hi, Julie.
Mazel tov, Sammy. Mazel
Hope you
tov,
don't work as hard tomorrow as you did last week.
Mazel tov, Sammy.